Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, future MIL came to my house to try to convince us to change the wedding date again. My FMIL passed away this weekend, and I'm racked with guilt. I complained about her so much and resented her behind her back, but all this time she wasn't faking it. MIL is a hoarder and it's affecting our Thanksgiving plans. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Future MIL came to my house to try to convince us to change the wedding date again. My FH proposed to me back in 2020, and ever since the start, his mom has said he's done everything wrong by not asking her for permission before proposing to me. She thinks she has the right to decide when he can get married even though we're both 24 already. She still thinks we are too young and unprepared. She has constantly argued with my FH, trying to convince him to ask me to cancel the wedding. We were planning to get married this year in April, to which she requested we postpone the date until later on because we weren't ready. Well, we did end up postponing it, not because she said so, but only so we could have more money saved. Our wedding is now in November, but with a ceremony only and no reception due to these family conflicts. We also decided we just wanted to keep things simple and are content with that. She came to my house today to speak with myself, FH, and my parents. She explained how she has heard about how everything has gone and that we are not ready and shouldn't get married until another 2 years. Her excuses were she's worried we'll suffer financially, so I explained how we both make enough to rent an apartment and live comfortably. The next excuse was she doesn't think my FH is responsible for not always cleaning his room. None of us are perfect. I don't sometimes too, but we are not lazy or dirty people. He is a hard worker and not irresponsible at all. The whole time, she just kept explaining how she felt and how she wanted everything to be. I am so hurt by all this. I want you guys to understand how upset I feel that you guys did everything wrong. I want you guys to wait to have a nice, big wedding that we can all plan together. I don't like the venue you guys have picked out. I want you guys to wait 2 years so you can both be more prepared. I want to help pick your dress with you, your tablecloths, etc. I want this, I want that. Hello. We are the ones getting married, not her. She said this is good advice for our own good. But it's not advice, it's a command. She said she would love to support us, but that she only will if we wait the 2 years. She said if we continue the plans for November that she will not even attend and probably not speak to us again either. FH is upset with her unsupportive behavior and says he gets tired of being yelled at every day by her. I am hurt by this all too. She makes everything about herself and tried to guilt-trip FH for hurting her in order to have things go her way. My parents explained to her that those are not her choices to make, but she believes it's disrespectful for my FH to go against her and that she only means well for us by doing this. I am so tired of it. I can tell the future will be hard for FH and I. Well, I appreciate you sharing your own feelings on the matter, however, you have neglected to acknowledge or even consider ours. Our wedding is not about you. You are invited, and your choice to attend or not is just that. We will save your seat if you choose to change your mind on the matter. She says if you guys get married in November instead of waiting 2 years, she's not coming and won't talk to you again. It sounds like the trash is taking itself out. One of the ways you can tell a narcissist is by how often they refer to themselves versus the other person. I want you guys to understand how upset I feel that you guys did everything wrong. It's insulting, but it's also perfectly just, no, 100% pure. You can't reason with an unreasonable person. She is beyond reason. She doesn't understand reasons, she won't accept them, she won't even hear them when you explain them. You could use Muppets and make a musical to explain and she'll say you never told her and you were off-key half an hour into the set. Those that don't give respect don't deserve respect. I am so sorry. Can FH move out now? Either with you or into your future apartment early? I had Catholic friends that found a great place months early, so she moved in immediately and he did after the wedding. If not, can he move in with friends for 3 months? Couch surfing is better than this. Right now, today, call all the venues and vendors and tell them your FMIL may try to cancel or change things. Tell them you want to give them a password and they need to call you on your cell to confirm any changes. If the vendor has been open for more than 2 weeks, they've encountered this. My grandmother changed my parents' flowers without permission over 50 years ago, so it's a real thing that happens. FH should change all his passwords and the recovery emails and cancel any accounts his mother is on. Put passwords on medical/financial/educational accounts. Since she doesn't want the wedding to happen and she hates every single thing, she doesn't get any input or say. She is a guest. No announcement, no dances, she doesn't get a speech, she's not in pictures. She needs to see and feel that she doesn't get a say in FH and your major events. Her just no mind has spun this fantasy of a puppet son and puppet Dale saying and doing and feeling exactly what she wants. She needs to see that fantasy crushed. Oh boy, I hope your FH shuts her down and permanently, because this will not get better. She said if we continue the plans for November that she will not even attend and probably not speak to us again. She is threatening you with a good time. In all seriousness, unless you enjoy her drama, you and FH ought to take her at her word and state in writing to his general family that you plan to get married in NOV without her blessing or participation, and that he and you are at peace with that. FH and you find a place to rent, move in together, and start the next chapter in peace and happiness. If you're kind of dreading a future with FH and his mother, please talk seriously with him and find a relationship therapist before the wedding. It doesn't make her win if you delay the wedding for your own reasons, but he's got to understand that he's bringing major baggage to your lives if he doesn't disentangle himself from mama's clutches. Time to cut her out completely then. She's made the choice for you with that threat of not coming or talking to you ever again. Frankly, as others have said, trash took itself out for you. Just elope at this point or go to the courthouse and get it done. No muss, no fuss, no MIL. My FMIL passed away this weekend, and I'm racked with guilt. I complained about her so much and resented her behind her back, but all this time she wasn't faking it. She has been homebound for 13 years, very obese. She could walk from the bathroom, but in the almost 3 years I've been dating my fiancé, I've never seen her leave her bedroom. It was a very sad and depressing place to be whenever I visited. She was losing weight and trying to get in better shape so she could attend our wedding, and was doing great at Easter. Then in May, she fell. My parents weren't able to meet her husband that weekend as planned, and he wasn't able to attend his best friend's funeral. I thought she did it on purpose because she was mad she couldn't do either. She's been in bed ever since, and my fiancé and his father have been taking care of her 24/7. Bathing her, changing her, everything. My fiancé won't talk about it. I'm sure it was horrible, and I was so angry with her that she refused to leave the home to see a doctor. She sent away the physical therapist after 2 sessions, etc. I was just so angry. I worried for his dad and what would happen when we got married and he'd be left alone to care for her. I worried she'd be moved into my home, and the caretaking would fall on me. I resented her, I lacked sympathy, I thought she was just vying for attention. But then last week they finally put her in the hospital and 6 days later she was gone. All this time, she was nice to me. She was so lonely, she wanted me to call her more, she loved me and was so happy to have me in her and her son's life, and I just can't stop sobbing over how much of an asshole I secretly was. I was always nice and friendly to her, but I badmouthed her. I'm so sad for my fiancée and I'm so angry with myself for not trying to have more of a relationship with her while I could. She was so lonely and I didn't do enough to show her I cared for her while she was alive. Actually, you should take your behavior as a lesson on what not to do. Instead, next time you run into a situation like that, just be kind. That way you don't have to beat yourself up. Please, don't keep beating yourself up over this, OP. You are only human, with human emotions, and fear is a powerful thing. Have you considered therapy to help you work through this? Hugs from an internet stranger, if you would like. I am so sorry for your and your SO's loss. Hey you, first of all, don't blame yourself. I too would have began to grow resentment over any hint whatsoever of me being a caretaker to an adult. It's something that was hinted by my mom-in-law and I feel that resentment that you feel. It's only natural. It's called your body not feeling safe in its own home. Are you married? Do you have parents? Will you help them or your partner in old age? You said you were always nice and friendly to her. That's what counts. All of us have someone that we don't like, even if it's not rational, but we usually choose to pretend to like them. Sometimes it's social obligations, sometimes it's BC of work professionalism. She didn't know your thoughts. She died knowing her son had found a nice girl to spend his life with. And she was right, you are nice. You didn't let your frustrations be known, or show her malice. That was kind of you. Honor her by showing others empathy. And maybe get some therapy. You had every right to be hesitant/worried about your future with her, especially if you were going to be sucked into taking care of her. Most people would feel that, it's one thing to do it for your parent, but it's different when that person isn't related to you. Just let your fiancé know you're there for him for whatever he needs, same with FFIL. Grieving is such a gut-wrenching process when the person was someone you had a positive relationship with. When the relationship had complicated or complex feelings, the grieving, in my opinion and experience, is harder due to guilt or feelings of missed opportunities. Please try and be kind to yourself. Your feelings and apprehensions of potentially being a future caretaker are valid and it is understandable to have felt that. This is going to be a hard and confusing time, please consider a grief counselor. I started seeing one when I had a loss in my close family and I have found such peace and understanding about my complicated relationship with the person who passed. Hugs to you, internet stranger. I'm so sorry for your loss. Don't beat yourself up for being angry with her, it sounds as though she refused help and tried to do everything her own way, which was her choice. But it had to be frustrating for you to watch your fiancé go through these last few months. Of course you were angry at her for not accepting professional help and for putting the work of caring for her onto her family. But let go of guilt. We all do the best we can and we all second-guess ourselves when serious things happen. The best way you can show her how much you cared for her is to love and support her son and her family. Take good care of yourself, too. Yes, well said. Hey you. Your feelings are very valid. But you need to work through this guilt. You can't and shouldn't it. I highly recommend you get in touch with a grief counselor. You'll probably be stunned how common your feelings are. Hugs. I'm sorry for the family's loss. Be gentle with yourself. MIL is a hoarder and it's affecting our Thanksgiving plans. My in-laws have one livable guest room and 2 other rooms that could be usable, but my MIL is a hoarder. She has so many clothes and magazines everywhere and refuses to clean it up. She goes through trash if we try to throw away magazines and gets upset if we try to get rid of anything. My sister-in-law's family is staying in the one guest room for Thanksgiving while we have nowhere to stay. My MIL told us we could book a hotel, which is crazy to me since they have 2 rooms if they cleaned up could work for us. What should we do? My husband insists that he does not want to see his parents on Thanksgiving because of this. My aunt and uncle live an hour away and said we could use their house for Thanksgiving dinner with my side of the family. If we do this, I'm sure my MIL would flip if we decided not to see them at all for the weekend. Do we lie and not say we're in town? My husband thinks his parents would find out somehow, which would cause more drama. Edits. My parents, sister, and grandma are going to my aunt and uncle's house, so I could just go alone for Thanksgiving, but feel bad for leaving my husband alone across the country. Your DH does not want to see them for the holiday. Have his back. Go be with your family if they are not celebrating together, and DH can explain to her that you couldn't come because their house didn't have enough room and leave it at that. What should we do? My husband insists that he does not want to see his parents on Thanksgiving because of this. Respect your husband's wishes, and let him deal with her. Enjoy your Thanksgiving with your aunt. TBH, the hotel sounds like a much better alternative to a hoarded house as long as finances allow. Would you trust any food cooked in a hoarded house? My good friend stopped eating anything cooked in her MIL's house decades ago after she saw just how filthy everything was. Shudder. If hubby doesn't want to go to his family, then just go to yours. Hope you have a good TG. Yeah, I imagine the place is dusty and gross. But if DH doesn't want to be there, I'd trust him on this and follow his lead. Would you trust a hoarder to be a safe cook? Heck, no. No, 1,000 times no. I wouldn't even trust sealed bottles. The voice of sad experience. My husband insists that he does not want to see his parents on Thanksgiving because of this. Follow your husband's lead. He's probably tired of the hoarding, and by you guys getting a hotel room, you're enabling the hoarding behavior, so it might be time to stick with your husband's lead and find someplace else to go. If she doesn't want to clean house and prepare it for guests, then she doesn't need guests. Why on earth are you so set on visiting your in-laws when even your husband does not want to? Just don't go. Don't let your MIL temper tantrums control your life or make you tell lies. Just thank them for the invitation, but tell them that unfortunately, this year, you are visiting other relatives. And then end the conversation. Don't get drawn into discussions or explanations. You're an adult and are allowed to make your own decisions. This is a very good example of a time when you should follow your husband's lead. He doesn't want to see them. Great. That makes your holiday planning so much easier. Both of you go and be with your family and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Let him tell his parents whatever he chooses. That's not your issue to deal with. Yup. It's a natural consequence of their decision. No place for us to stay. Okay, we won't stay. Hoarding, unfortunately, is a psychological problem. She's not going to magically decide to clean out the extra 2 rooms without a lot of professional help, and even then it'll be a long, slow road. And she has to want that help, kinda like with addictions. It will not be ready for Thanksgiving. You nailed it. There is no amount of pleading to clean that is going to make her actually do it. This is someone who needs a lot of therapy and likely medication. Go elsewhere for the holiday. I'm sure my MIL would flip if we decided not to see them at all for the weekend. So what? She refuses to clear a room to make you welcome, and you don't want to spend money on a hotel. Therefore, it doesn't work for you. Besides, would you really want to eat in a hoarder's home? Your husband doesn't seem to want to go there, understandably, so don't feel obligated to go. Thanksgiving is supposed to be a great time, so go where it'll be a great time. Great answer. I agree. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.